Time now for sports news on the News at 10 with Kayode Alayode.
Thank you very kindly, Gimba. Welcome to Sports News. The Ministry of Youth and Sports Development says the upgrade and renewal of sports infrastructure around the country remains a top priority. The ministry said the infrastructural renewal and provision of modern digital sporting equipment are embedded within the Adoption Campaign initiative launched back in 2019. The ministry also stated that it will carry out an audit of all sporting infrastructure in the country and see the ones that are critical so funds can be released to and fix and, of course, optimize them to the advantage of the athletes. Abuja Stadium, National Stadium, Lagos, Ahmadu Bello Stadium, Kaduna, and Liberty Stadium, Ibadan are set to undergo renovation in a few weeks. In the English Premier League, Liverpool have maintained their charge towards the title with a narrow win over Tottenham. Marcus Rashford marked his 200th appearance for Manchester United with 2 goals as the host thrashed Norwich 4-0. Callum Hudson-Odoi scored his first goal as Chelsea returned to winning ways with a comfortable victory over Burnley. Arsenal had captain Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang sent off by the video assistant referee as they were held to a 1-1 draw by Crystal Palace. Everton responded to back-to-back defeats with a 1-0 win over Brighton, and Danny Ings scored a fine late goal to deny Leicester City a 3rd consecutive win and secure 3 points for Southampton. Newcastle United ended their 3-game losing run with a hard-fought draw against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Meanwhile, Barcelona forward Luis Suarez is set for a lengthy spell on the sidelines after the Spanish champions announced he is to undergo surgery to treat a knee problem. Barcelona said Suarez would be treated for an injury on the external meniscus on his right knee on Sunday. Reports say the Uruguay international is expected to be out of action from 4 to 6 weeks. Suarez has made 23 appearances for Barcelona this season alone in all competitions, scoring 14 goals in all. And to boxing now, Anthony Joshua has been given until the end of the month by the International Boxing Federation IBF to agree to terms with mandatory challenger Kubrat Pulev. Joshua reclaimed his titles in Saudi Arabia in December 2019 when he avenged his shock loss to Andy Ruiz Jr. The Nigerian-born British boxer has underlined his desire to fight Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, but a showdown with the Bulgarian Pulev appears to be the next on the cards. The IBF said if he fails to agree to conditions for a fight, he could lose the belt. And in tennis, US Open champion Bianca Andreescu has announced that she will not be able to take part in the Australian Open this year. The 19-year-old enjoyed a breakout season in 2019 after storming up the ranking to become the WTA World number 4 at her peak and lifted her first 3 trophies on tour. A stellar year was capped when she defeated Serena Williams in New York to seal her first major title, though she was forced to pull out of the Shiseido WTA Finals Shanghai because of a left knee injury. That issue is still troubling her and will prevent the Canadian from featuring in Melbourne. More in tennis, Rafael Nadal has secured a comeback victory against Australia's Alexia de Minaur at the ATP Cup in Sydney after propelling Spain into the final. The world number 1 was down a set and hadn't seen a breakpoint until de Minaur served to stay in the second set at 6-4 and 5-6. But the Spaniard converted his first breakpoint in that game and stepped up from there, breaking 3 more times in the third to win 4-6, 7-5 and 6-1. Apparently, we're staying with tennis. World number 2 Novak Djokovic has played tactical tennis to pick apart the enigmatic Daniil Medvedev at the inaugural ATP Cup in Sydney and earned a place for Serbia in the tournament's final. The Serbian won the match 6-1, 5-7 and 6-4 after he relentlessly pushed Medvedev around the court, forcing the Russian to constantly scrape shots off his shoelaces. Dusan Lajovic had already beaten Karen Khachanov 7-5 and 7-6 in the opening singles to provide the opportunity for unassailable 2-0 lead in the tie. That's all on sports news. Many thanks for watching. Back to you, Gimba.
Brilliant, Coyote. The stories outside of Nigeria now. A group of Iranian protesters are calling on Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei to step down after Tehran said that its military mistakenly shot down a Ukrainian plane, killing all 176 people on board. The leader of Ukraine and Canada, which lost 57 nationals in the crash, are also demanding justice. Tehran had initially denied reports its missiles had brought down the plane, with one spokesman accusing Western nations of lying and engaging in psychological warfare. More stories, and French Prime Minister Edouard Philippe has offered a concession to unions in a bid to end nationwide strikes against proposed pension reforms. Mr. Philippe says that he is willing to withdraw a proposal which would raise the age at which workers can claim their pensions from 62 to 64. One of France's largest unions, the CFDT, has welcomed the announcement, saying that it shows a willingness to compromise. Meanwhile, protesters again took to the streets of Paris and other cities today. In Paris, the police fired tear gas at some groups of protesters who smashed windows and set light to rubbish bins and billboards. Industrial action against President Emmanuel Macron's planned pension reforms is in its 38th day and has badly disrupted France's transport system, particularly the trains. And the main news again. One person died today as fire got over 400 shops at the motor spare parts market in Obosi area of Anambra State. The midnight fire destroyed property worth millions of naira. And that's how it's been on the news at 10 tonight. I want to thank you so much indeed for watching. On behalf of all of us here, have a splendid night. I'm Gimba Omar. Good night.